Woodbridge police officer Ted Penny, who lost his life last week in an accident. Thank you. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
According to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this public meeting has been published in the Home News Tribune, Courier News, and Star Ledger newspapers, and posted on the Middlesex County website, as well as on the bulletin board in the Middlesex County Administration Building at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting, which shall be entered in the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Sconabarger?
Here.
County Commissioner
Here.
Kenny? County Commissioner Koppel? County Commissioner McCall?
Here.
County Commissioner Deputy Director Nara? County Commissioner Tamara?
Here.
County Commissioner Director Rios.
Here. We have ceremonial resolutions.
Recognizing Diana Staris on her retirement after over 22 years of service as the Injury Prevention Safe Kids Middlesex County Coordinator for Robert Wood University Hospital. Recognizing Daria Venezia on the occasion of her retirement as President of the Middlesex County Federation of Democratic Women. Recognizing the heroic actions of Woodbridge Township Police and Fire.
Is there a motion to adopt the ceremonial resolutions? Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call.
County Commissioner Sconabarger?
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny? County Commissioner McCall?
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios.
Yes. Okay, any of the top two are not here, just Woodbridge police officers? Okay. Commissioner Kenny, you want to join me? Sure. Police officers, you want to join us over here by the podium? Fire chief. And where's the fire chief? Yep.
All right, guys, come line up over here. How we doing? Congratulations.
Thank
We feel that it's important to recognize heroic actions by anyone, and of course our police officers and fire personnel, they don't know what they're going to face on any shift at any time, and they do this for a career of 25, 30 years or more. And at times when we're running away, they're running in. And on October 4th, at 2:55 a.m., a structure fire was reported on St. George Avenue in Avenel. And upon arrival, the police officers found the second floor fully engulfed in flames. And under the direction of Sergeant Jorge Quesada and with Detective Owen Sharkey and officers Robert McPartland, Ryan Trudell, and Michael Guarnacia, the team entered the burning building. And despite hazardous conditions and extreme heat, extreme smoke, under severely limited visibility, they were able to locate people and evacuate them. That is a heroic action that should be recognized and never forgotten of what these men and women do each and every day, what they face. First Fire Chief Robert Minkler Jr., along with members of the Woodbridge Fire Department, simultaneously responded to the scene and initiated first fire suppression rescue operations at Ensign Command under extremely dangerous conditions. And swift action by all these officers and the firemen save lives, and they save other people's lives by, adjacent buildings that could have went up as well. So on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, we want to say thank you for what you have done, and you're courageous men and women that wear the uniform, and we can't thank you enough for what you did, because it certainly was heroic. Commissioner, would you like to say something?
Apologies for being late, but I was driving carefully, so I didn't have to rest. No, everything that you all do each and every day is a credit not only to the county and the towns that you come from, but to your families and communities. We know that each and every day you are making a commitment to put other people ahead of yourselves, and you leave your families, many of whom are here today, and they know that you are willing to sacrifice yourselves. Even if it's not the ultimate sacrifice, it's injury, it's emotional trauma that you guys put yourselves out there to endure, to make all our lives easier and safer. And so we are very, very appreciative. Thank you.
Okay, who's the commanding officer? Commissioner Kennedy, would you like to say a few words? You're a Woodbridge guy.
Just congratulations, everybody. You know, it's very hard to realize in this moment just exactly what you're going through then. You pull up on the scene, it's the middle of the morning, you don't know what's going on except you just see a lot of flame. And to be able to size up the situation, make the decisions that have to be made to make sure that you can not only rescue the people, do your best to save the property, and also keep yourself safe. It's very tough, and I congratulate all of you for what you did.
So, commanding officer here that was not there, or that wants, or any officer or commander that would like to say something?
Hi, on behalf of the Woodbridge Police Department and the Police Director's Office, we'd like to thank the Mayor, the County Commissioners. It's a very proud day. We're very proud of these officers, both from the police and fire. You know, they utilize their training, and you know, they do this. And to call them heroes is just scratching the surface. They do this every day, and we're very, very proud of them. And we're glad that everybody is safe.
Okay, we have resolutions for everyone. Thank you.
Maybe an extra.
You want to take a picture over
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And we say thank you to the families for allowing them to do what they do for us.
All right, everyone, look here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One moment. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And just one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. Is there a personal phone you have?
I'm okay.
How you doing?
Okay, correspondence?
Commissioner has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. These correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Is there a motion to accept the correspondence?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes for approval?
Minutes of the regular agenda held on Thursday, December 4, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Roll call?
County Commissioner Squillenberger?
Yes.
County
Yes.
Commissioner Kenny? County Commissioner McCollum? County Commissioner Deputy Director Mara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios?
Yes. Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Clarabelle Santa Barbara.
Thank you, Director Rios. On Sunday, December 21st, the county will have the annual Homeless Persons Memorial Day event. The event starts at 5 p.m. right here at the New Brunswick Monument Square, and the host is by the United Methodist Church. This event remembers homeless and formerly homeless individuals that have passed away. Join in the sharing of music and those who have experienced homelessness, along with those who have working to end homelessness. And that concludes my report, Director Rios.
Thank you. Commissioner Charlie Kenny.
Thank you, Director. On tonight's agenda, we have 25-15-10, which is a bridge contract that we're going to be giving out to create a pedestrian bridge at the Seaworn Marina in Woodbridge Township. This is going to help connect what the town is doing along the waterfront into Alvin P. Williams Park. It'll provide a safer path for people to walk and bike into the park. Currently, they have to walk down the road that goes into the old public service facility and then down another road. This will provide a more quicker and safer pathway for them to travel. And so I ask for my colleagues' support on this item, and this is an item that has been in the works one way or another for many years. So I thank the engineering department for finally bringing this to fruition. That's all I have, Director.
Thank you. Commissioner Chanel Scott McCollum.
Director, I don't have the report, but I just want to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday, and I wish you a prosperous new year.
Thank you. Commissioner Deputy Director Santinaro.
Thank you, Director. From the Department of Public Safety and Health. The holidays are upon us, and that includes celebrating with family and friends. No matter what holiday traditions you celebrate, we encourage you to do them safely. When traveling, leave a little extra time and avoid rushing. Law enforcement is very active during this time of year, targeting aggressive, distracted, and impaired driving. But remember, as safely as you feel you drive, there are other people who are not driving so safely, and we continue to have serious and fatal accidents on our roads, including another one that happened in our county the other night. So I really urge everyone to have heightened awareness when they're on the roads, even as pedestrians. Please remember to practice all safety tips on lighting live trees, cooking, and entertaining. A few more minutes of safety can avoid accidents and injuries. And from the department, we wish you and your families and loved ones a very happy, enjoyable holiday season and a happy, healthy new year. And the only other thing I'm just going to add, directors, I'm just sending out my feelings of support for the students and families and professors at Brown University. I have a college-age nephew. I have a sister-in-law who's a professor, and they both are on the East Coast. And no matter where you are in the country, I can't even imagine what that campus is going through and what all of their families and friends related to them are going through. And it is such a shame that we continue to experience these horrific acts of violence, and when there are solutions. So I will wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season and a happy new year. tinged with incredible sadness for those people who can't and won't be able to associate this time of year with anything but tragedy for quite some time. So, thank you.
Commissioner Charlie Tamaro.
Thank you, Director. We're in the midst of the holiday season, and that means nearing the last call for Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Democrat. At the State Theater, performances are on Sunday, December 27th, and Sunday, December 28th. Tickets are going on sale now and going quickly, so don't miss out. The Roosevelt Skating Park or ice rink is open for extra hours during winter break, from December 26th to January 4th. So if you're looking for something to keep your family occupied, bundle them up, come on out and have some fun, and fun to begin. For more information, please visit our website, and I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season and a wonderful new year. Thank you, Director.
Thank you. I would also like to wish everyone a happy holiday season for those that celebrate Hanukkah, and for those that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, and a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and a happy Kwanzaa to those that will celebrate. Wish everyone a prosperous and safe new year. Okay, Mr. Kelso, any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Resolutions to be held?
There are none.
And resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
This time we open up the meeting to the public on only resolutions listed. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. Charlie Prattville, Sedan Street, New Brunswick, editor of New Brunswick Today. Start with 1449, the Food Security Strategic Plan. What can the county share with the public at this time, and when will the plan be complete?
That's a strategic plan for Replenish. So this is to extend the work that they currently did with Centers for Healthcare Strategy. So now they're working on the implementation and evaluation of the plan. So going into January, you'll see that implementing the strategies and goals and things that they have identified this past year as part of the strategic plan.
Okay, and that plan would be shared with the public, or it's already available to the public?
I will check with Jennifer Apostle. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. Next one, 1450. Can you tell me what the area plan contract is with New Brunswick for various services?
We found them for trying to get nutrition, information and assistance, and public information services.
That's through the senior center.
Yes.
Moving to page 5, I see some acquisition and rehab, and then rehab of units, properties for affordable housing, CCC housing. Can you tell me where these units or properties are?
The acquisition ones are the first one, 1467. One is in North Brunswick, 3 are in Woodbridge. And then the rehabilitation, the 11 properties, that's actually 17 units of housing, but it's 11 different properties. They're in Denellen, East Brunswick, Edison, North Brunswick, Piscataway, and South Lincoln.
Okay.
And they range from 1 bedrooms to actually there's a couple of 4 bedrooms.
It's good to hear. Don't hear New Brunswick on the list, though, so I do want more affordable housing in New Brunswick, of course. 1470, 1471, healthcare kiosks. The one in the city of New Brunswick, this would be an additional, a third one, and if so, where?
No, this is just renewing that agreement to have it.
Renewing the original
of the
one.
2 in New Brunswick and the Woodbridge.
Okay, and then let's go to page 7, Code Blue services. So I don't have the resolution, I don't have Schedule A to see, but I presume this is for all the towns that do Code Blue?
It's for, 3 towns.
3 towns.
So it's New Brunswick, Perth Amboy, and Old Bridge came in for funding. So we're funding all 3 of their full asks. New Brunswick is 192, Perth Amboy is 172 and change, and Old Bridge is 25,000.
That's great. I'm just going to make the point, though, today, not Code Blue, right? Code Blue not today. There's no Code Blue today, right?
No
So-
Code Blue today.
So yes.
No Code Blue today.
So yeah, I just want to make that point that, nobody should be sleeping outside tonight. And, it's great that we do Code Blue when it's extreme cold weather, but we really need shelter for everyone every night, overnight. The next one is, this is a project in my neighborhood that's, it's supposed to produce affordable housing, been in the works for many, many years.
Which resolution?
$1483, $1 million to support this project at 45 Remsen Avenue. Can I learn a little bit about what this is going to accomplish and when it might actually finally start construction?
They are, the developer is coming home along with Region 9, and so they're still firming, this is why it's a commitment, they're still firming up all their funding to do that work. The $1 million that we're putting into it is specifically for units that will be occupied by currently homeless individuals. They come off the list that's maintained by our coordinated entry system. So once their funding is all put into place, this is also going to be passive housing. I don't know if you've worked with them on some of the other buildings that they've done, which are their incredibly environmentally conscious buildings so that they sort of generate their own energy, so it reduces the cost over time to the tenants. But what happens with the 10 units that we're supporting with the $1 million, that they're also, New Brunswick Housing Authority provided 10 vouchers that will stay with those 10 units for the length that it's there.
Okay.
But it's not a timeline yet because their funding is still being finalized.
Thanks for that update. And for the record, I do know that there was another, a different developer to start with that kind of, didn't make it work, and now it's in, under some new leadership. But yeah, that's good to hear because we do need emergency housing for our homeless population. Could you tell me how long that list is?
I can give you the numbers. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay, because obviously 11 units is a great start, but we're going to need a lot more. 1511, can I find out about the micro-transit program? It's obviously being renewed. When is it going to be expanded?
Time is up.
Yeah.
Time is up.
When is it going to be expanded? That was the question.
John, we're just keeping it the way it is this year, coming on the 26th, we haven't done the extension. Okay, so it's going to remain the same right now.
Anyone else in the public?
Move to close the open portion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Does any commissioner have to vote on anything separately?
I do.
Yes.
It's resolution 25-1464.
Anyone else? Mr. Kelso?
Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt a consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 25-1443 through resolution 25-1523, excluding resolution 25-1464 to be voted upon separately.
A motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Scoble-Carver?
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny? County Commissioner McCall?
Yes.
County Commissioner Deputy Director Nara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios?
Yes.
Now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution excluded by Deputy Director Nara, and that's resolution 25-1464.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call?
County Commissioner Scoble-Carver?
Yes.
County Commissioner Kenny?
Yes.
County Commissioner McCall?
Yes.
County Commissioner Deputy Director Nara?
Present but not voting?
County Commissioner Tamara?
Yes.
County Commissioner Director Rios?
Yes. This time I open up the meeting to the public. And before you speak, sir, let me just say something. I understand many of you are here to discuss the Immigrant Trust Act. I want to be clear that my colleagues and I share the values reflected in this legislation, as well as in the current Attorney General's Immigrant Trust Directive. Here in Middlesex County, we do take action to protect our immigrant population and already uphold the principles outlined in the Immigrant Trust Act. For example, we collect minimal personal data in our electronic databases to ensure that identifying information cannot be used against any of our residents. Any information we do collect is not shared with federal agencies unless required by law. Our law enforcement agencies adhere to the Attorney General's Immigrant Trust Directive and cooperate with federal immigration agencies only in specific defined circumstances in accordance with that directive. We carefully scrutinize any potential funding source, especially federal grants, to ensure that by accepting funding, we do not put our immigrant community or any resident of Middlesex County in jeopardy. We recognize the importance of community voice and have residents of all backgrounds, regardless of citizenship or immigration status, serving on our advisory councils and boards. We work closely with the State Office of New Americans and with our partner agencies to provide education and support for all Middlesex County residents. Our staff participate in immigration committee meetings organized by community partners to ensure our residents know Middlesex County is a safe and supportive provider. Through our Commissioner Support Grants, we fund our agencies and partners in our community doing this critical work and are committed to continuing to fortify them during these difficult times. With that said, we do not use our public meetings, which are meant to conduct the business of county government, as a forum to lobby our colleagues at other levels of government. Middlesex County does have a long history of collaboration with our legislative delegation, and we maintain strong working relationships with our state and federal representatives. We commend and respect those who advocate for these important issues. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Troy Schreiber, Big Down Piano, 48 Stanton Street, South River. Once again, I would like to say thank you for committing to uphold everything that you just spoke about. I don't want that to go unrecognized. I do understand that there is a lot of commitments still being made at the county level that are legitimately helping the causes that we're advocating for. But I just do want to emphasize the urgency of the situation that's happening right now. We're seeing a terrifying, unprecedented situation. I don't need to go into it. I believe many people after me are going to go into it in more detail, better than I could. But I just want to, I do want to state that we've been pushing for this bill at many angles, at many levels of the government, and a common thread that many people have received or seen is that the state legislatures are looking at local leadership. They are dependent on local leadership to help understand what the public sentiment is regarding the policies that they're trying to pass. And so I believe that that the county leadership should pass a formal resolution in support of the Immigrant Trust Act, because that is a tremendous amount of soft power that's going to help enable the values that you guys are upholding at this county level to be enshrined at the state level, and to make us fortified and more, to ensure stronger protections for immigrants throughout the entire state. This bill, unfortunately, still faces a bit of an uphill battle because there's a bit of hesitancy in the state legislature leadership. And the more local entities that have come out and endorse this formally and pass these resolutions in support of this bill, the more likely they are to at least have it be set up for a vote. So I, once again, am just asking that you do this, that you pass a formal resolution in support of the Immigrant Trust Act, because I feel like it would be a tremendous gesture and a great boost to what we're trying to accomplish here, and that is to ensure the safety and privacy of every immigrant that lives within this state. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hello, my name is Asma El-Hini. I am an organizer of Resistencia and Acción New Jersey. We're an immigrant rights group that serves Mercer County. I drove an hour to be here today with you. I've heard that people have talked in the past about the ITA to you all, and I want to state that leadership is not about avoiding controversy, it's about taking responsibility. So I want to say that delaying or refusing to pass an ITA resolution does not keep this county neutral, it actually harms the immigrants. Your lack of action is actually action. It's sending a very strong message to immigrants that you don't care about them, and I don't believe that you don't care about them, but that's the message that they're getting. When we choose not to pass something like an ITA resolution, and let me tell you, I heard the excuses. I know you say, oh, we don't pass anything that has to do with the legislature. Why are 6 other counties doing that? That excuse is not good enough, I'm sorry. There are people in your county that are being abducted. There are warehouses where people are being ripped from their families under your district. You guys are supposed to be leaders. I'm sorry, I'm talking to you all. I'm talking to all of you. I read some of your biographies. Some of you said you enjoy going to the theater with your wives in your free time. I wish immigrants can enjoy that too. They're terrified. While you go to bed comfortably at night, there are people who are terrified when they wake up and they're terrified when they go to bed. And some of them have to hold the pain of not living with their family members because ICE came into our community. I want to tell you a story of why ITA resolution is so important during this period of time. On August 21st, we responded to a call that ICE was in our community. We responded, and guess what ICE did to remove us from the area so they can continue to lie to a family to get them out of their house? You know what they did? They called the police department. The police department had no idea what collaboration and not collaboration is, even though there's a directive in place. And ITA makes sure that every single police department is trained to know what they can and cannot do. They decided to arrest me that day. But I want you to know community is stronger. They showed up that day, disregarded what the police said. What they did was they created a safe perimeter so that ICE can continue to try to get this family out of their house. Community members came out, including some of our rapid responders who are in red vests today. And we made sure that family was safe. You have no excuse. It is not okay to put this on the back burner. People are in fear every single day of their lives. You have a large immigrant community in New Jersey, about 500,000 people that are undocumented, that are contributing members to our community. And I'm sorry I'm raising my voice, but this is urgent. We have a crisis on our hands. Please forgive my anger here, and I want you to feel the pain that is behind the anger. Because when you go to sleep and you don't hear these stories, we are face to face with the families that are saying, you know what? My child is now without their mother. This is true. My child can no longer see their mother. My child can't eat because their father is now deported. These are real stories. When will you show that you care? It is not okay that we waited this long for you to put something on the agenda. It is not okay that you're not going to pass this today. I'm going to tell you, I didn't drive here so I can yell at all of you. I drove here because I'm trying to reach humanity. And I believe in the good of humanity. And I believe some of you will rise up to the occasion and say, you know what? We can't. If there's a rule that we can't talk about any legislation, we're going to change that today. Because guess what? Our community matters. Our community matters. And that's why I'm here today. I urge every single one of you, please, I implore you, you have the power to say, you know what? Today, we want to put it on the agenda. And we want to pass it because we urge the legislative body to protect the immigrants in our community. I don't have to tell you what kind of times we're living in. I don't have to tell you, every single one of you should know. Every single one of you should know the times that we're living in. We need your leadership more now than ever. So we implore you, we believe in you, and we trust you will do the right thing. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good,
Somebody help her with
I'll get it for you. Hold on a second. No problem. I'll get it. You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Jessica DeFalco.
Hold on a second. Sorry. There you go. Make sure it's green. That one should. We're going back.
Hello? Okay.
There you go.
Good evening. My name is Jessica DeFalco. I live in East Windsor in Mercer County, but I have long-standing ties to Middlesex County. I was born and raised here in Edison. I was born at JFK. I had multiple surgeries here at Robert Wood. My family on both sides have had small businesses in Edison over multiple generations. I also work right up the street, a couple blocks away, on the corner of George and Albany, at that big company. So I have strong ties to Middlesex County, and the residents of Middlesex County mean something to me. I am an organizer for NJ 5051, a grassroots protest movement that's been doing protests in Trenton at the State House all year. I'm also a rapid responder for Resistencia. I do this, as you can see, from my wheelchair. Most recently, I was able to get ICE to leave a situation in Hightstown. We got a call to the hotline that you could hear them banging on the door in the background, and I was the first one on scene. I thought there was only 4 ICE agents. I was there with my camera, recording, asking them for their warrants, which of course they never have. And eventually, they left. And then, from the back of the house, comes another 4 agents. Me, alone, in my wheelchair, against 8 ICE agents. If I can have the bravery to do that, I'm asking you to be brave and pass this ITA resolution. I know that you said that, you did mention things about the ITA in the beginning. Someone else mentioned the holiday season. What if you weren't spending the holidays with your family? These are our neighbors, our friends, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters. That, imagine being a 5-year-old kid and you come home from school one day and your dad's gone. Your mom's gone. This is destroying families. These are hardworking people. Why is it that ICE is showing up at places of work to kidnap people? I met a young man on Monday night who was taken from the warehouse raid in Avenel recently. 18 years old. He had a valid work permit. He had everything. He had his documents, he had everything. They took him anyway. He spent 21 days at Delaney Hall. The things that he told me about what he endured in that facility is inhumane. The Geneva Convention, one thing I'll say, just one of the bad things that they do there, they keep the lights on 24/7. That's psychological torture, defined by the Geneva Convention. Also, the UN Convention on Torture also defines leaving the lights on 24/7 as torture. This country is breaking international laws, okay? The only thing that we can do at this point is act from a local level. We need to protect each other locally if the federal government is not going to do it. So once again, I'm asking you to put the ITA resolution on the agenda and pass it in Middlesex County. Mercer County has passed it. There's over 30 individual towns and counties that have passed ITA resolutions already. So you're late to the game, and people are looking at you. Your constituents that voted for you want this resolution passed. So thank you for your time.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Ellen Witt, and I live in Highland Park. I coordinate the Dyer hotline, which receives calls from people who see ICE in their neighborhoods, from people who have loved ones held in ICE detention, and from others with immigration issues. I'm also an accredited representative for Immigration Matters with Dyer Legal Services. Since Trump took office, we have received over 800 calls from people who are torn apart or terrified by ICE. A large percentage of these calls are from Middlesex County, from constituents that you say you represent. I know you are well aware that we are here calling, of course, for a passage of a simple resolution. I don't care if it's one sentence at this point, just a simple resolution in support of the Immigrant Trust Act. What you probably don't know is that truly, as was just mentioned, there are many people are actually asking us why you haven't passed such a resolution. And honestly, your explanation is just hard to explain to anybody who cares about this issue. It's frankly embarrassing. You have all your neighbors passing Somerset, Mercer, Union, all passing this, and you all can't make a simple statement in support of it. It's really confusing about why is it that a county like this, of all the counties in the state, that represents itself as so diverse, it's a diverse community. It just can't stand up and say that we will not in any way support the Trump administration's mass deportation program. You know, everyone in the county needs to know that the police, hospitals, schools, and other government agencies are doing their jobs and not collaborating with ICE's violations of human rights. The Immigrant Trust Act legislation recognizes that government agencies will need to respond when ICE provides a proper judicial warrant. But without a judicial warrant, these agencies will not have to expend their time, budget, staffing to meet the whims of immigration enforcement agencies. Now, the truth is, we need legislation to strengthen our policies and our resolves to not be sucked into immigration enforcement. Right now, the Immigrant Trust Directive is not being adequately enforced across the state. And we know this from having worked on this issue for the years that we've had the ITD. Law enforcement feels pressure from various quarters to not comply with the ITD. The ITD also, I just want to point out, you were pointing out, you know, Middlesex County in the past had a strong policy around this issue, which has now been dropped because you went with the ITD. But the ITD is a much weaker directive, right? It allows for all kinds of people who have been accused but have never seen a judge, never had any due process, which we all say we care about due process now. They can be just turned over to ICE. You can talk to ICE, collaborate with ICE, allow holding people for ICE to come pick them up later that day. There's things in that thing that is very, very weak and has really been problematic. The other thing that's in it is virtually any kind of domestic violence charge leads to collaboration with ICE. That's allowed in the ITD. So what is happening to women in Middlesex County is either they call for help from the police with the risk that the next thing that's going to happen is their spouse is going to get picked up by the police and then turned over to ICE. Because the IDT, the Immigrant Trust Directive, allows for that. It's been a tremendous problem. We see it every day. Women, families who lose a breadwinner because of this. When it's a minor, you know, a lower level incident that could be very helpful to be able to get some kind of restraining order. But they never get the opportunity to do that because the guy is just gone. Nothing. I had one person whose neighbor called about an argument happening in this county. The person was picked up, got deported, because the ITT allowed for that.
Your time is up, ma'am. Thank you.
I can't believe that. I timed this before I came here.
5 minutes is up. Thank you. Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Joanna Lloyd, and I'm a veterinarian from Robbinsville, New Jersey, and I'm here to speak in support of the Immigrant Trust Act. My mother's family came to this continent on the Mayflower. My father's family came through Ellis Island, and what that makes me is an immigrant. We tell ourselves stories of bravery, about our ancestors sailing the sea, about crossing the ocean and making a new land. We don't tell the story of how that land was taken. We don't, which is unfortunate because it seems that so much of the current immigration debate comes from this idea that the land belongs to us and the door is closed. It was less than a month ago that we celebrated Thanksgiving, a holiday about family and the people you love, an origin myth which glosses over the truth and cruelty of the past. And while we celebrated Thanksgiving, ICE is destroying families, kidnapping loved ones, and engaging in unimaginable cruelty on a daily basis.
Could you speak a little closer to the microphone, please?
Yes, sorry. The Statue of Liberty doesn't have a sign to welcome billionaires. It doesn't have a quota. It's an ideal. It says, send these, the homeless, the tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. I know the ITA isn't on the agenda tonight, but ICE wastes no time waking up before sunrise to destroy lives. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, a delay on the municipal calendar. Every day is an eternity when you are waiting for your family member to come home. We open this meeting by thanking the police officers, everyone who goes out in the community to keep them safe. Police officers, fire department, EMT, we said, may they come home safe. That should hold true for every member of this community when they leave their house. May they come home safe. I want a golden door, not a border wall. Please put the ITA on the agenda and pass it.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Irfan Khawaja. I live in Princeton. I work in Islip. So I'm here to advocate for the county's passing a resolution in favor of the Immigrant Trust Act. Last time I was here in October, I recounted the story of an unfortunate event in Edison back in 2024, in which the mayor of that town abused a bunch of migrants with impunity. The point of the story was to suggest that had the ITA been in place, the abuse wouldn't have happened. But I want to take a different tack tonight. At that meeting in October, Mr. Rios declined to put a resolution on the agenda because he said the county doesn't discuss issues outside of its jurisdiction. It is unclear to me what basis that claim has in law and what indeed it means. First, and most obviously, no one can dispute that the Commission has the power to issue resolutions. What we're requesting is a resolution, so that request is clearly not outside of the board's jurisdiction. What about a resolution on a matter currently before the state legislature? Is there a law against that? I don't think so. And if Mr. Rios does think so, I would ask him to cite the relevant statute. Is the problem that the ITA is irrelevant to Middlesex County business? Well, that's wrong twice over. If you look at the text of the ITA, it isn't just relevant to county governance, it's about county governance. The ITA comes out and tells all 21 county governments of this state how to govern and how not to. It's that simple. I don't have time to lead you through every clause, but if you look through every clause, this is an undeniable textual fact. The relevance of the ITA at that point becomes undeniable. Once you see that, you see that the bill tasks every county with specific legal duties that demand discharge. Now, you could say that the ITA is not within your jurisdiction, but it's obvious that you are part of its. And it seems implausible to think that a county government would be neutral on that subject. But there's a deeper point here than that. All county commissioners swear an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution, including the Bill of Rights, including the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment to the Constitution asserts that the powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved to the states and the people. Now, settled constitutional law since 1997, Prince versus U.S., asserts that the 10th Amendment prohibits the commandeering of state, local, or county resources by the federal government. In other words, according to current law, county commissioners have a legal duty to ensure that county resources are not commandeered by the federal government. This duty is what the ITA codifies. It writes it into law, not into a directive that can be repealed at a moment's notice, but into law that governs everyone. So while it's true that the county can't literally pass the ITA is about county governance, and it codifies a duty that binds every one of you. You can't do an end run around all of that by claiming over and over that it's out of jurisdiction. A pro-ITA resolution is a modest, minimal attempt to fulfill your obligation to the Constitution. It merely says, we approve the state's attempt to protect its constitutional rights and ours. This is not a matter of generosity or niceness, and it's not optional. It is a matter of law. Run it by your lawyers if you want. I run it by mine. The only reason not to pass a resolution is that you reject the 10th Amendment, or you reject the anti-commandeering principle, or you don't mind signing your powers over to the federal government. which is contrary to your oath. If that were your personal preference, I wouldn't stop you, but you don't have that option. The 10th Amendment safeguards the rights of the people through local government. Our rights are under assault. You have an oath to safeguard those rights through the 10th Amendment. There's no guarantee that a resolution will do that, but there is a guarantee that irresolution won't. We refuse to accept anything less than your best efforts to engage these issues, and we will be here until we see them. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Hillary Persky. I'm a resident of Princeton, New Jersey, and thanks for letting me speak this evening. I'd like to read you a quote from a piece recently published by the Brennan Center for Justice. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has embarked on a spending spree, signing contracts worth up to $25 million for a smorgasbord of spy technology, social media monitoring systems, cell phone location tracking, facial recognition, remote hacking tools, and more. It's nothing new for ICE to use these to find people to deport. What's new is that the federal government now openly says it will use its supercharged spy capabilities to target people who oppose ICE's actions. Labeled as domestic terrorists by the administration, these targets include anti-ICE protesters and anyone who allegedly funds them. The quote I read presents, of course, the many means of surveillance available to ICE. This is all very frightening, certainly to me. In fact, it is my understanding that ICE recently used drones capable of detecting the warmth of human flesh to find terrified immigrants hiding in a freezer at a seafood warehouse. To me, these events and what is happening every day only sharpen the urgency of your passing a resolution in support of the ITA. It would seem the ITD is simply not nearly enough to do what it is that you described you're committed to doing. And I did hear those words. Not enough to protect our immigrants, those who work so hard to provide for their families, those who work in so many ways for our convenience, our friends, our family. However, what the quote that I read also brings home is the great importance of protecting ourselves. Because it is not just the undocumented, but those who wish to protect them, or even who disagree with the Trump regime, who need protection. We are, all of us, now essentially undocumented. We are all subject to being deprived of our rights. We are all potentially the enemy, or subject to being called an enemy, a terrorist. Because of these circumstances, standing up for what is right, promoting the ITA, protecting immigrants, making it a legal obligation, protects all of us, because it asserts the importance of protecting our rights as people who live in a country that until very recently held the protection of basic legal rights as its core value. Thanks for your attention.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Andre Kamuraman. I'm a resident of North Brunswick. I am an organizer with New Jersey 5051 and a rapid responder with the Dire Network. When I spoke here last, I spoke about pride was to be from this county, how happy my memories were of here, and how sad I was in order to, that I felt compelled to come here to ask, may beg, the commissioners to pass a very basic indication of support for the ITA. And many people have mentioned the legal aspects of this, and myself, I want to echo that. And I think to call what is happening in this nation, to call it a siege against our rights, our fundamental human rights, undersells the seriousness of the moment, because we have a rapacious, cruel federal government that wants nothing but to mobilize the resources of every state in order to launch a reign of terror on not just the undocumented, but also its own people. Because we have many stories cases of individuals who are clearly US citizens, who are documented, who are picked up by ICE. It's this rogue agency's cruelty, its tactics, betrays its contempt for basic rule of law. And I have to ask, will Middlesex say anything? Will the commissioners say anything about those actions as they trickle? Nay, it's not just a trickle, it's a wave that's coming into this state. Because ICE enforcement is increasing and will continue to increase, and it will continue to kidnap more and more human beings off of our streets, more and more workers off of our streets, both undocumented and the documented. And that offends me, that offends my sense of morality, and I hope it does yours. And I hope it behooves you to act, to support the ITA, to push for its passage in this state. Because we cannot allow. Now, earlier today, we had, what was that? There was fire, was it? We had our public services were honored. The police, fire, were honored for their bravery serving this county. Do not sully them. Do not allow this government to control them, to deputize them for cruelty, abject cruelty, and fear-mongering. Don't have them live with that. Don't have us be party to that. And that's what a passage of support for the ITA, a resolution for the ITA does, is that you're drawing a line, however thin it may be. However immaterial it may be in the grand scheme of things, it is a statement. You're putting something on the record that you'll support the rule of law. And if that's not what we're fighting for, I don't know what is. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Julie Brzezinski, Metuchen.
Lower the mic. Get closer to it.
Julie Brzezinski, Metuchen, Middlesex County. So I'm here to speak in favor of passing a resolution to support the Immigrant Trust Act. I'm the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. My grandfather was in Poland and survived the Auschwitz concentration camp. But my entire family, his entire family, did not. His mother, his brother, his father were all killed. And what's occurring now with ICE is no different from the early stages of the Holocaust. Things that happened gradually. And we believe that we were going to be unaffected by the people that believed that they would be unaffected by the mistreatment of others looked away. And they did nothing. And today we have the opportunity to prevent our neighbors, our family members from undergoing the same fate. And so I urge this body to pass a resolution to support the Immigrant Trust Act. You spoke last meeting, I believe it was roughly the same. I'm going to paraphrase, so forgive me, but you said, my colleagues and I share the values reflected in this legislation, referring to the Immigrant Trust Act, as well as the current Attorney General's Immigrant Trust Directive. We already uphold the principles outlined in the Immigrant Trust Act. And so while this positive statement of support for the Immigrant Trust Act is appreciated, it's also hollow without a resolution. And you said this committee doesn't use its power to lobby the state legislature, but I think that calls into question the legality of why other counties have passed resolutions, such as, I'm told, Essex, Hudson, Union, Somerset, Mercer, and Camden. There seems to be no reason why this body could not do so. It just chooses not to do so. And so I urge this body to pass a resolution to support the Immigrant Trust Act.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Victor, my name is Hector Rufanki, from Edison, but I was born here in New Brunswick, St. Peter's, not too far from here. I, like my colleagues, am here to speak on the Immigrant Trust Act resolution. If I may add as well, I am the son of immigrants, and they have very much made it aware to me how much they struggle to get here, to find work, to be able to settle down, to make something of themselves, and then on top of that, give something to me that they never had in their home country, which was rivaled by political instability, economic instability, the whole shebang, right? But I'm not here to give a sob story. I'm here to talk about the resolution, and moreover, I'm here to talk about immigrants, right? Look, I understand, I'm not speaking here to immigrants for the most part, I'm speaking to you all, so I'm just gonna make this simple, and I'm gonna put this in terms of numbers. Dates and numbers. July, Edison, warehouse, about 25 workers, mostly immigrants, were detained by ICE. August, again Edison, at least 50 workers were detained at another warehouse, also in Edison, in that same complex, by the county college. And now, in late October, we have yet another raid in Avenel, where at least 40 workers, I think 42 according to DHS, were taken. Now, what do all of these raids have in common? They all took place in this great county, the county which you all administer over. As my other colleagues have mentioned, other counties have passed resolutions in favor of the Immigrant Trust Act resolution, and even many towns and cities within this county have passed resolutions. Across the street, they passed one in favor here in New Brunswick. In Edison, where two of those mass raids occurred, they also passed in favor. I was there for that town hall meeting where we spoke on the resolution, and they passed it right then and there on the spot. In fact, I recall quite clearly, right after I spoke, they realized what they had got into and the sort of people that were behind me and behind this entire resolution. So they just drafted one on the spot and they passed it. But from what I made aware, you all already have the resolution. People who have previously spoken have already delivered it to you all, have already given you something to sign off on, to approve, and yet there's been nothing. And before you say or even think, oh, but we're not Edison. No, you're not Edison. You're the entire county. Edison is just one town. There should be more flexibility. You all should have more leverage in this. And yet, what? Nothing. So, again, to make this easy, I'm just going to end on this note. If the resolution isn't passed tonight, then we all are going to continue to show up here every other week. The crowd here is going to continue to grow even larger, and as much as it pains me to say, because yes, I am a lifelong resident of this county, and I want to see the other issues in this county. I'm not saying that immigration is important, but I want to see the other issues also be resolved and addressed. But that can't happen when, people, again, especially immigrants, working class immigrants, predominantly people of color, are living in fear. They can't even go out. So, I'm not asking, I'm just letting you all, making you all aware, right, of the consequences and of what we'll continue to do. And keep in mind, it was 25 in Edison in July, 50 in Edison again in August, and 40 in Avenel in late October. And those numbers will only continue to go up, and you all will only have yourselves to blame. I see my time. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Anna Falshevitz, 329 David Street, South Amboy. Good evening. I'm a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, and I'm also a mental health clinician for Rutgers University and a concerned Middlesex County resident. Your constituents are here tonight to ask once more for an Immigrant Trust Act resolution to be passed for our county. We're not doing this for fun or because we're bored or want to bother you or make these meetings terrible for you. We're horrified by the domestic terrorism known as ICE, which has been disappearing good people who live and work in this county. We ask for something very simple, an Immigrant Trust Act resolution to be passed for our county, as has been done in several other counties and many municipalities in the state. My understanding is that our elected officials work for the people. So you can see why it's extremely unsettling to us that something so simple is being refused. This is what your people want and need. Shouldn't that be more important than tradition? There are no neutral parties in America today. Either you are resistant to fascism or you're enabling it. Silence is compliance. Which side will you choose? Your people's side or the side of the authoritarian regime oppressing your people? We are not going anywhere until a resolution is passed. We will be on the phone, in your emails, and most importantly, we will be here to advocate for our immigrant community. We are organizers and activists. We don't ever throw our hands in the air and give up. We are guided by our moral compasses and yearning for social justice, and those will never be lost for us. We ask that you tap into your own values and beliefs and ask yourself if you're living by them right now. I highly doubt your values include tearing families apart, leaving children without their parents, families without their main provider struggling to survive and even being evicted. So please, I implore you to stand up and speak out and vote to pass an Immigrant Trust Act resolution for Middlesex County. You have heard your constituents' voices at multiple meetings already. We will not accept the answer of Middlesex County does not pass resolutions or legislation, or the thing about the trust directive, because that's not codified, and any attorney general who decides they don't like it can just take it out. You know, there are concentration camps in our state, and people are disappearing. If there were an entity other than ICE disappearing our community members, there would probably be a full investigation in a state of emergency. I ask you tonight to look at the situation and not excuse the entity because they're federal agents. And I'd like to remind you that Nazis were just doing their job too. Please, your people are begging you, pass the Immigrant Trust Act resolution. Thank you.
State your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hello, my name is Daniel. I'm from Fanboy, Cornell Street. I'm really disappointed to hear that in the previous meetings that people have attended here, that you have not decided to listen to the people and listen to their needs and calling for the Immigrant Trust Act to pass with a resolution. So in Fanboy, we actually passed a resolution calling for the implementation of the Immigrant Trust Act. And I consistently go to council meetings, and they are very difficult. And we were able to pass it because we were listening to the people. And today, I would hope that you would do that as well. My family voted for you. I did not vote for you, but my family did because they still believe in you, and they still believe that you are here to represent their interests. So I am asking you to support the Immigrant Trust Act. And I'll give you an example of why this is important, especially in Fanboy, which is a community that you are supposed to be representing. I was on the way to the gym. They were taking a 16-year-old kid who did nothing, and all the masked agents, there were around 10 masked agents, had all their faces covered. And I was screaming at them, what are you doing? This is a 16-year-old kid. Is the 16-year-old kid a threat to any of you? This is a shame. And we are living in a fascist government right now, and you are acting like that's not what's happening. And I understand you keep saying that there is a directive happening with the, in our state, but we can implement this into law and make sure that no one can change this. And the reality is, I'll give you some statistics that I was really shocked to learn. ICE has scanned driver's license photos of 1 in 3 adults across the country. ICE has access to the driver's license of many as well. ICE tracks the movement of drivers in cities and home to 3 out of 4 adults. ICE can locate 3 out of 4 adults through utility records. So this is very scary, even though we are saying that we have an immigrant trust directive, and when undocumented people are getting their license, that information can be shared and is shared with third-party companies and corporations that could eventually lead back to ICE. So this is really important, and that's why we're asking for this to be implemented into law and to listen to the needs of the people. And again, your colleagues in other counties have already done this. Multiple towns have done this. Why are you waiting? Who are you waiting in approval for? It's just sad. And again, my family voted for you. Many people in my community voted for you because they believed in you. And I would hope you take this opportunity to understand that we are living in a fascist government, and we should be doing everything in our power to protect the immigrant community in our state. Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Andre Berger from Elizabeth, New Jersey, just about a mile down the road from the Elizabeth Detention Center, and a few miles from Delaney Hall, two of the immigration detention centers in which people in the state are being held in horrific and inhumane conditions. And they're given inadequate and inedible food and denied medicine. At EDC, people have been denied access to toothpaste for days on end, and anyone who complains about conditions there could be subject to retaliation. And I encourage you all to visit Delaney Hall, where every visitation day, families, including pregnant women and young children, are forced to wait for hours in a parking lot, whether the weather is freezing or boiling, or whether there's rain or hail, all while dealing with harassment from hostile and ill-tempered guards. And I appreciate what Director Rios said earlier in this meeting about the protections that Middlesex County provides for people here. But even if the Immigrant Trust Directive was implemented perfectly here, and I think the previous speakers have given examples to indicate that it's not, your responsibility for your constituents does not end at the county line. When your neighbors are detained by ICE as a result of police collaboration in South Jersey if they're driving to work, or by police departments and municipalities who either disregard the Immigrant Trust Directive or take advantage of the loopholes it contains, you have a responsibility to take action where you can. And this is something that you can do. Make it clear to your constituents, to your colleagues at the state level, and to the broader public that Middlesex stands with immigrants who make this county and this state home. Thank you.
State your name and address in 5 minutes.
Good evening, my name is Jenny Pisaki. I'm a resident of Cranberry, New Jersey, which is in Middlesex. This is my 4th time appearing before this body. Every time I come before you, there are times that I have brought to you facts. There's times I've spoken about the law. There's times I've spoken about the children that I work with in schools, the older adults that I work with in Monroe. This evening, I'm going to start with at least telling you about a personal story for me. About 2 weeks ago, I was asked to please escort somebody, a family member, to Delaney Hall to be able to see a boyfriend that is in Delaney Hall. The person that I transported, and it took us over an hour and a half to get there, did not speak much English. I don't speak much Spanish. What little I was able to understand is that her boyfriend had been there for at least 4 months, and there was severe questioning whether or not he was even going to be able to get out in the next 2 months, or possibly be deported in the next 2 months. When I got there, I got to see children as young as 4 years old standing out in 30-degree weather, waiting to be able to see their fathers and mothers. A bunch of us had blankets, we had hand warmers, we had food, we had whatever we could to keep these family members safe. I don't know what it's like to be inside Delaney Hall, but I can certainly tell you what it's like for the family members who are outside, waiting, crying, being told they're not dressed properly and they have to run back out to be able to throw on a pair of oversized pants because the police that are guarding Delaney Hall are telling them they're inappropriately dressed. It is inhumane there. My guess is none of you have had the opportunity to see this. And if you have, I'm sure it would affect you greatly as it has for me. In addition to that, we are being told when we go to Trenton, when we come here, when we go to our local municipalities, we are being told that between now and the inauguration of our new governor, there will be a ratcheting up of ICE raids and other interference. We are being told that we are considered un-American. We are being told that there will be retaliation made. Now, we have a governor who we elected, who ran on transparency, who ran on being able to have a criminal justice. Forgive me, thank you. However, we also have a legislature right now that has bills out there eliminating transparency, eliminating our controller, eliminating the ability to actually listen to the people. You still have the ability to listen to the people. You still have the ability to hear what we're talking about. You still have the ability to be transparent on our behalf. And I ask you to please use that power. Right now, because this is not on the agenda, we cannot wait for a vote. What I would ask is there any one of you, who would be willing to publicly say this evening that you support the Immigrant Trust Act? Any one of you.
Shame.
Shame, shame.
Shame. We will have order here or you'll be escorted out.
Shame.
I'm going to just tell you right now.
Answer the
This
question.
is her time to speak.
It's also my time to be silent, because my leadership is silent.
Director?
Yes.
I'd like to speak. Yes. I will tell you that I am supportive of the Immigrant Trust Act.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Are there any others who would be willing to say publicly?
But I am going to say this. okay?
Yes.
I so appreciate, and I mean this sincerely, okay, the passion and the conviction, and they are correct, okay? I'm not gonna tell any of you to stop. I'm not gonna tell any of you that, but I am gonna say that, I mean, I know, I've been an advocate, okay? I've been in this position over the years. But I also know that I am honestly telling you this, to ask each and every person, right, may not accomplish what you would hope. I've hesitated for a long time about saying this because I respect these people here very much. This is a county we worked very, very hard on issues well before any other county did it. So I appreciate this, that Somerset and Mercer, but you know what? We passed a policy and not a single other county did. So that was dealing with immigrants in our detention center. So it sometimes frustrates me, okay? Especially when all the advocates come up and they're chastising all of us. And we took a stand in the first administration and we got called out by that administration. They called us out particularly. So every single person up here was either on this board or involved with this board at that time. And we went through a lot. And we got attacked personally, we got attacked privately. And so I'm saying this because this breaks my heart. I hear each and every one of you. Everything you're saying about what's happening in this country is what I feel. But I also have a great deal of respect for the group of people up here, okay? And I am telling you my personal position, but that's me, and I'm asking you all, right, to understand that I personally don't think it is fair, right, to start calling out my fellow commissioners. They have their feelings that are supportive, they have different gradations of it, but there's not a single person on this board that is uncaring or unfeeling or impervious to what you all are saying. And you don't all know our stories, right? I feel a particular reason for speaking out because I am an immigrant. I am this skin color. So believe me, I've known people in my own community, right, who have been stopped and who've been mistreated. And I had to take the oath of citizenship, and I had to go through all of that, even though I've been in this country since I was 2. And I know very much that things keep going down this road, and somebody could start saying, I don't deserve to have my citizenship anymore, right? But that doesn't mean that I think calling everybody out individually like this, in my personal opinion, isn't fair. Okay, that's why I hesitated to speak up before, because I knew this was going to happen, right? And I am saying this to you, and I'm going to ask you all, and none of you have to listen, right? But I'm just going to ask you all not to do that. But you can do it anyway. I know some of you are going to, but respectfully, right? We're a county that is open to everybody coming up here. And we ask for addresses just for the record, but we've never objected to people coming from outside the county. I don't care where you live. If you live in New Jersey, you live in Pennsylvania, this is a public body, right? And we're sitting here and we're respectfully listening, and trust me, we are listening. We are not walking out here and immediately forgetting you all and the things that you're relaying to us. So I've so hesitated because I don't want to open this up to individual attacks on my fellow commissioners. But I said my piece, and you know, you all keep fighting, and I think the fight is righteous, but maybe I disagree a little bit with some of the methods, but that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next.
I gotta go.
Please state your name. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Dawn Cohen, resident of Belmain, New Jersey, which is in Somerset County. I'm here, like the other folks here who have spoken today, to urge this body to pass a resolution in favor of the Immigrant Trust Act, along with 6 other counties which collectively represent over 36% of New Jerseyans. I am going to take a slightly different tack than what other folks have said here. I think we've heard a lot about the, the moral and ethical considerations. I'm going to take a different tack, which is this legislation. Well, okay, let me back up a second. Our governor-elect, Cheryl, has signaled that she is interested in perhaps instituting or continuing the Immigrant Trust Directive. I commend her for that, and again, I commend this body for enacting protections for Middlesex County residents. New Jersey, as a whole, needs a law, not a directive. A directive is a matter of policy, and policies can be changed. They can be changed for good reasons. They can be changed under pressure. Our president is not immune to exerting pressure under all sorts of conditions. If our governor-elect chooses to implement an immigrant trust directive, we can almost guarantee that, like practically on day one, our president is going to start saber rattling and say, if you don't weaken that directive, I'm going to start sending in National Guard troops. I'm going to start sending in extra ICE agents. We cannot have our governor-elect have her policy choices held hostage by a threat of getting the retaliation. Okay, we cannot, we cannot put our governor in a position. We should not be putting our governor in a position where, she has to choose between either weakening protections because she's afraid of possible possible threats from the government, and choosing, like, okay, he sends in National Guard troops because he can. Like, we can't have it where every decision that she makes, even if it's not even an immigration-related matter, some policy, cryptocurrency, he doesn't like, and he then uses that as a pretext to start sending in extra troops, which then she has to sort of walk back her directive in order to mollify the administration. She is a single point of failure, okay? It is much harder to try to shake down the state when there is law, when there's an Immigrant Trust Act in law, than it is to, it's harder to take that down than to take down and threaten our governor with an Immigrant Trust Directive, which he can single-handedly choose to weaken. We need to be able to have this backstop where we protect our immigrant community in law, not a discretionary policy. I urge you to take a resolution. Thank you.
You spoke already, ma'am, so your time is up.
I come to the board.
Your time is up.
Point of order. I come to the board just to
No,
ask.
your time is up.
Can I finish? I did not actually speak for 5
You're
minutes.
speaking. You
I
had your
didn't
time to
finish my-
speak. You're out of order.
Can I just ask a
Next.
question? I
No.
didn't let her for
Your
5
time
minutes.
is up.
May I
Your
just
time is up,
start,
ma'am.
answer, and respond to what
No,
you said?
no, there's no
You're not the one
rebuttal
who's
here.
raising your voice. She isn't.
Thank you.
Not for 5 minutes, I didn't get 5 minutes.
Well, please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. She spoke? No, she didn't speak. Please state your name and address.
Hello, I'm Catherine Hunt, 121 letter P, Lower Lane, in Monroe Township, and I'm a resident of Middlesex County. I know that from hearing you that you have said that you have a policy. However, it isn't a written policy, and I noticed that other counties have passed resolutions in favor of the Immigrant Trust Act, and they have contacted their legislators and their governor to let them know what they have done as part of a way of expressing the voice of the people who elected them. I'm asking you if you will also communicate our voice to our legislature and our governor. I was up at, well, say down, at Trenton today, which is why I've got my stickers on, talking to legislators about the Immigrant Trust Act and asking them where they stand and why the bill hasn't moved all year. Why hasn't it been allowed to go through its normal process? And they say, leadership. And I ask, have you called leadership? Have you talked to leadership? Who is leadership? Is that a person? Or people? Is it Scutari? Is it Coughlin? And they say yes. So these are human beings, and they listen to county officials. And you are county officials. They will listen to you. And I'm asking that you talk to them and tell them, people come here, ask, please, move this bill. They're asking us to pass a resolution, like people have asked at other counties to pass a resolution. And this is our resolution, and this is what we're asking. Please pass this bill. And I'm asking you to look at your policy that you say you have. It isn't a state policy. Other counties don't have it. It isn't a written policy. So why are you following this? Now I noticed that Scutari has posted the bill for January 8th. However, Coughlin has not. And here you are, right in his district. Yes, you could speak with him. Yes, you could pass a resolution. There's no reason you couldn't. There's also McCabe, political boss. People are talking. This sounds like corruption. It just sounds so strange to us. We elect you to represent us, and yet there seems to be other people who are telling you what to do. What is going on here? People are starting to wonder, why is it we keep getting that same answer? Leadership. And they give us the same names. Scutari and Coughlin. Where are your hearts tonight? What do you think you should really do? What do you really think you should do? We are in a different time now. We are at the point of authoritarian takeover. We are in the period of time that many other countries have faced, fascist takeover. What did other people do when they were in your positions? We're out there trying to defend our communities. We have to find the courage to do that. Can you find the courage to pass an ITA resolution?
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. You have one more meeting this year. I wanted to ask if you'll be allowing general public comment at that meeting.
No,
Why not?
because that is just to pay bills, and that's been a policy of this board for a long time.
I don't think that's correct. You can just look at the videos. Also, you have a meeting on January 5th, your first meeting, your reorganization meeting. You won't allow the public to speak there either, right?
Just on resolutions.
Right, so you won't allow people to talk about the Immigrant Trust Act.
Now, if you have anything else you would like to talk to us about, you're more than welcome to send us an email or
Okay.
call our offices.
So you won't allow people to talk about Deborah Terrell, the senior citizen that was killed by New Brunswick police?
Not on January 7th.
Right. And so you won't allow people to talk about things like how the county's getting a new prosecutor or any of the other big changes that are happening in the county. You just won't allow that at those two meetings.
You know what the policy is. You asked this question many times, Charlie, so you know what the answer is.
I think it's very instructive to look at history, and I know that these meetings for this board started being recorded in 2008. And 2008 is the same year, Mr. Rios, that you joined the board, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was 2008?
2008.
Right, so you joined in the middle of the year, just a few meetings after they started recording. And so those meetings are available online. You could go to New Brunswick Today on YouTube and watch those old meetings, and I encourage folks to actually do that. Back then, this was called, you were called the freeholders, and back then, Middlesex County ran an ICE detention facility. And, you know, I believe, Mr. Rios, you were the only one on the board back then. I think everybody else has joined since then. But in those videos, pretty early on in 2008, 2009, you'll see lots of people coming to this microphone and speaking for 10 minutes, because you used to get 10 minutes. And for the record, they used to have meetings on Mondays and Thursdays. But you'll see people coming up and raising the issues and giving you updates and information about what was going on in your ICE detention facility that was within the County Adult Correction Center. And ultimately, the advocates won. They got you to stop. They got you to pull out of that agreement. And to not continue it. I think that's instructive, and I think tonight we saw a little bit of that, where pressure does work, and that's why people are pressuring you. You're supposed to represent us, and so I think that you need to go back and watch those videos and look at some of the same advocates, some of at least a few, coming back now and ask yourself, how far has this county fallen? Because I've been, doing activism since about that time, been doing journalism for over a decade, and I cover a lot of boards and a lot of councils, and I've seen changes. Some of them have made great progress, and as I reflect in this sort of, end-of-year moment, I say, wow, who would have thought that, this would have come so far or improved so much? And certainly some things within the county government have improved. But this board and your transparency, your access, the way you treat the public, it's gone badly downhill. And, that's evidenced not just by the fact that, you only give us 5 minutes to speak, and you no longer let us speak about general matters at your Synodea meeting, at your reorg meeting, and you have all these other meetings now that you have just to pay bills, and you don't have the Monday meetings anymore. And now just to get into the county building, you make people check in on a kiosk, and you make them display their identification and have the machine take a picture of them, and you collect information about us.
That's for public safety, Mr. Cradaville. That's for the safety of the employees and other people in the building.
Why do you need everyone to check in on a kiosk?
If you're not concerned about public safety, shame on you. You're out of order, okay? You're out of order.
I'll just say this. The attitude that you bring to these meetings and to the public shows me that your time should be up. Your time should be up. You deserve a new director.
You're out of order. You're out of order. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion-